welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Maggie.
And I'm Wanda.
Introduce yourself again.
I'm Prabby.
Nice. This is Prabby's second time on the pod. Second?
Yep.
Second time on the pod. He's joining us as our mystery guest. He came here to see my place. We commuted together today. Commute buddies, if you will.
Yes.
So sweet.
Nice. Today, Prabby will be joining us to review r/unpopular opinions. We drew some unpopular opinions from Reddit. We're going to see if we smash or pass on them. But before we get started, Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
So I watched Encanto finally, and it is a beautiful movie. And the soundtrack is amazing. The point of the story was amazing. All of it was amazing. I cried so hard during multiple parts of the movie, and it was just like a building up cry. Like it got to the point of like I was watching it and I was like crying, and then I started crying harder, and I started crying harder, and I don't know if that was also your experience with it.
I did cry, but I didn't cry as much as you did. It sounds like you cried a lot.
I mean, there's only like one short part where like I cried a lot.
Have you seen
I just
it?
realized I've been saying it wrong this entire time. I thought it was Enchanto, not Encanto. So I googled it really quick. I was like, is Wanda saying it wrong, or am I saying it wrong?
Wanda has an accent. That's probably why.
Yeah. No,
Yes, I am.
I liked
fluid.
it. I didn't love it, but it was good.
Did you like the song "We Don't Talk About Bruno"?
I feel like if I was younger, it's definitely not geared towards. It was good in terms of like they did a good job with music, but
I've literally
it's
had
a
that
really
song.
annoying song.
I've had that song on repeat.
But you've seen that that very trendy clip on YouTube where they do the apple bottom jean version.
No.
Okay, I'll link it to you later. It's really funny. Better than the original, actually.
That is fighting words. I think almost
No.
every single song from that soundtrack is amazing. And I don't like musicals. So me saying that, me going and listening to the soundtrack of that movie while not watching the movie, I think is like insane.
Yeah, I'm shocked you like it, but I'm very happy you liked it. Way better than Turning Red.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm
Really?
obsessed.
No, I will disagree here.
I love Turning Red.
I feel like Turning Red was unique enough from like regular. Encanto was like just the typical same shit again, but like it was done well, but it was like nothing unique and new.
But if you look, okay, so the animations for Encanto, wonderful. Like so much better, I think, than how they did Turning Red. Like Turning Red looks like DoorDash, like commercial characters that they created. And if you go look it up, you'll see the resemblance. So I feel like Turning Red just didn't get as much like budget. So I think the movie could have been better. Like I think there's a lot of elements in the movie that could have been better, but I think Encanto had the budget. So which is why the movie ended up turning out a lot better. The animations was so great. The hair texture was amazing. Like there was one part in the movie where it's like the older sister, like the stronger sister, like you could see the hairs on the back of her neck. And I think that was really great too, because it's like normalizing body hair on women.
I like Turning Red more.
Side note, there is a tweet out there that was like, I like how all the new Disney movies address generational drama and they make the parents apologize, which is very great.
Yes.
And really shows how messed up the generation was from their parents.
I agree.
Nice.
But is Encanto a Pixar movie? It's not, right?
It's not.
It's Disney.
Okay, so it's my favorite non-princess Disney movie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how much I loved it.
I guess that makes sense why I didn't like it that much. I don't usually like Disney movies because it's like they just reuse the same shit over.
But this one was like so in your face, and it was like the song was so good.
Let's agree to disagree on this.
This is gonna be a lot of this episode.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Prabby,
I like conflict.
Prabby, what is your update this week?
Oh god, you didn't tell me I had to prepare an update.
It's too late. You have to prepare.
My update is it's a super long weekend, so I wasted away doing nothing. That's my update.
You
Sounds
should
perfect.
tell the funny story about how you got a 4-day weekend.
Oh, it was not really that funny.
I think it's funny.
Well, most government, like non-government places in Ontario usually don't get the Monday off for Easter Sunday. I think only schools and government do. And then at my work, like no one really knows what days are supposed to be off because we don't have HR. And then like in Slack, I assumed we wouldn't get the day off. And then in Slack, someone from our team was like, "Oh, guys, enjoy the 4-day long weekend," and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess we get days off." So I'm gonna take it. It's a win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you make like HR jokes, like no HR jokes, like haha, that would have been inappropriate, but we don't have HR?
We do that a lot. Actually, it's the people that are like senior leadership that are taking on the role of HR are the ones that are like, "Oh, you can't complain to HR because I'm HR." So, but I like it in like a funny way. It's funny.
Funny.
I actually like, to a certain extent, it's fun not having HR.
Okay.
As long as everyone's getting along, which everyone is. So
We got a Harvey Weinstein situation about to come up here. Nice. Okay, so my update is I may be allergic to my brother's cat. Actually, I'm 99% sure I'm allergic. It was pretty rough. I was playing with it Friday, and my eyes started flaring up like crazy. It's not like normal allergies, but it's like eczema in a way, like when I had it in the past when I came into contact with fiberglass. So like those exact same symptoms came out, and I was like, holy shit, I'm allergic to this cat. And then my mom just texted me, and she was like, I told your brother that if Maggie has to come home every weekend, the cat needs to go on vacation every weekend too. The cat can't be in the house if Maggie's here. And I was like, I feel like that's excessive. Like, I take an allergy pill. If my brother just gets some air purifiers, I think I'll be good. But I think it's okay because I'm only home like on like two days.
I feel like they definitely should keep your door closed for your room.
Yeah, the cat roamed a lot and it like climbed on my pillow and I had to like change all my pillowcases and bed sheets.
You shouldn't have to like sleep in cat hair.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Side note, my mom was not angry at all. My brother got a cat. She was like, you have to clean it. And her one requirement was that he can't wash like the cat dishes in the same sink as us. And he like flipped out and was like, why? I'm just going to clean the sink afterwards. And I was there and I was like, this is literally her one requirement for you to keep this cat. Like, I think you can do this. So
I think you're too easygoing about the situation.
Yes. I vented to Maggie about this already. I have lots of strong opinions about the situation, but I will keep them to myself.
I would actually like to hear them because like I think I have really strong opinions about the situation, and like how Maggie was talking about it just then gave me like a visceral reaction, and I want to know what your thoughts about it are.
Well, I'll let you go first, but like just hearing Maggie describe the situation like infuriated me on the inside. I was like visibly getting mad on behalf of Maggie's mom, but yeah.
So I'm so upset that your brother faced no consequences for this, even though he should have. And I thought it was kind of funny that you were actually allergic to the cat because I was like, karma comes back in the end. But no, you're being very easygoing about it, even though allergic reactions could be very serious and they could get worse over time, especially because cat hair, like the longer hair stays in the house, it like the worse of a reaction that you can get. So why are you putting your health needs behind your brother's cat?
it's because I'm a middle child.
Yeah, I feel like if I was either Maggie or their mom, I would be very upset in the situation. Not because of the cat, just because this happened without me being consulted, at least.
So you have an older sister. How would you have, like, let's say you had a younger sibling who went through whatever Nick went through to get this cat, like lying to everyone, but your younger sister told you about what they were going to do. Would you have told your mom?
Like, first of all, I would not just bring an animal home and be like, this is what it is now.
Okay, but yeah, that's like, not you bringing the animal home. It's your sibling.
I would be very mad at them. I would not let them do it. It wouldn't happen.
Okay.
It wouldn't happen. Like you there's no, like, you can't do that. And it just work. Like it just wouldn't work.
So Maggie was like, I'm not going to ask your opinion about this because you have no siblings, so you just don't understand. And I was like, okay, that is fair. But like now we can consult somebody with a sibling. And we're not trying to roast you here, Maggie. It's
This is
just,
fair. You were standing up for me and my mother.
Yeah.
yes.
Nice. So anyway, that's a good point. My brother should clean the house more. I think he's buying like a couple air purifiers. He's gonna like pet him more. I mean, like brush him more. Sorry, not pet him more. The cat is pretty cute though. It's kind of annoying, but I think most kittens are annoying at this age, like babies. Okay, so Wanda, who's your beef or crush of the week?
So my beef of the week is Western Digital. And about a year ago in December, I got a hard drive to store all the things that I need to store, not on my computer, which includes all of our podcast stuff. The other day, about a week ago, I tried to put something on the hard drive and it just like stopped working. It froze, it hung. I unplugged it, tried again, same thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. I don't need to do this right now. I'll wait till a week later. I tried it again yesterday and it just didn't recognize the hard drive at all on my computer. So I tried to get Jordan to fix it because having tech support is really great when it's free. And he couldn't find it either on his MacBook, but then he ended up being able to find it on Windows. So I don't know what happened because I had partitioned it to be like Mac, to be like only readable on Mac, so it works with my computer, but for some reason it like reverted itself and now only works on Windows computers, which makes sense on why I couldn't see it. Long story short, we were able to recover most of the files, but I have to now send this back to Western Digital to get a new one, and they don't pay for shipping.
That sucks. I am sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sucks. You couldn't get some of it back. I hope it wasn't important.
There was only like maybe like 2 or 3 things that could have been like important. Like nothing on there was like really that important anyways, because it was more of just like a backup kind of thing. I didn't want like, it was just a lot of like storage that I needed. It was a 4 terabyte like external hard drive and I don't have that much on my like laptop, so it was just nice to have. But now like I have like trust issues and it's like I don't even know if I want another external hard drive again. Like maybe I'll just pray for like cloud storage.
Retweet. Let me know if you find a cool cloud storage. I also need one.
Yeah. Try to back up all my data more. Apparently there's a thing called the ABC rule that Jordan keeps on spouting at me, but I don't know what it means.
Always be killing. Okay, Prabby, who is your beef or crush of the week?
I was not prepared, so I don't have one.
Okay, just make one up.
No, you go first.
Say it's me.
Okay, my beef and crush of the week is Maggie.
What?
The end.
Aw.
I hate you, but I don't.
Okay, my crush of the week is Cheetah Girls 2. I've been really into Cheetah Girls 2 lately, once again. I haven't watched the movie again. I mean, I have like many times, but I'm not gonna watch it again. I'm just watching like the music videos on YouTube, and I have it on Spotify now. But I think they're really underrated. I think Cheetah Girls 2 was ahead of its years. Literally so diverse, such good concepts. Like, they're high school students going worldwide and performing really bussin' music. So this is great. Good crush.
Is this a movie? I've never seen this.
Cheetah Girls 2? Yeah, it's movies.
Is there? I assuming there's a Cheetah Girls 1?
Yes, but you can skip that one. You can watch Cheetah Girls 2.
Okay.
It's Raven Simone, Adrienne Bellon, Sabrina something, and Keely Williams. You know that meme where it's like, broken promises? It's a girl. Okay, never mind. But anyways.
You could also just be doing a really bad impression, which
she had a list back then.
Ah, okay.
But anyways. Okay, good beef. Good crush. Thanks for the beef and crush shout out, Prabby.
You're welcome.
Okay, so moving on to unpopular opinions on Reddit. We're going to be reviewing some of the weird things we see on Reddit and saying if we smash or pass them. Smash as in we like them, pass as in we do not like them. Let's see how controversial our opinions are. First one. Okay, Wanda, you can say the first one.
The first one is something not on Reddit, but it might be, and it's my two personal unpopular opinions. Number one is that right now we are in a world where non-conventionally attractive guys are now seen as the more attractive type.
Huh?
So examples of this are Jack Harlow, Timothy Chalamet,
Pete
who else is like
Davidson,
kind of Pete Davidson.
Bill Hader.
Okay, no one thinks that.
I'm gonna disagree on some of these. How is Timothy Chalamet not
Timothy
conventionally
Chalamet
attractive?
is attractive.
He
That
is
bone
objectively attractive. You
Oh,
cannot
but,
say
like-
he's not conventionally attractive.
But he's not conventionally attractive because he has like the model bone structure. He doesn't have like the he's not
Models
like
are
a
attractive.
he's not like a Chris Hemsworth type of or a Brad Pitt type of that's what I consider conventionally attractive.
So you're thinking
Someone
like
like
Hollywood
Timothy
attractive.
Chalamet is like very like his bone structure is very like model-esque, artistically sculpted type of thing. So it's not really like what you would consider to be conventionally attractive. He is more of like a artistically attractive.
I feel like it's more just a shift on what people see as attractive, not as like a conventionally attractive.
I
Like
think-
this changes over time.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he's still like pretty young, so he has like the boyish charm attractiveness. I don't think he he hasn't grown into his looks yet, even though he's our age. He hasn't grown into it yet.
There's like a theory that people who are popular or like famous, like really famous, getting a lot of hype right now in Hollywood are the ones that don't look like their age. Like they look much younger than their age, and they've looked like that for some time. So like people like Zendaya, people like Timothy Chalamet, they don't look like they're 25. They look like they're like 16, 17, and they've looked like that for a long time. Tom Holland.
Yeah, I think that's because they became famous when they were like in their teens, and then they're still like active now, even though they're like seasoned professionals. It's still like not that long of a time, like from your teens to your 20s.
They look the same, and they're all very, very like it's like what is popular right now. It's the people who look younger than they like are.
How old does Pete Davidson look? Like he looks like he's in his 20s to me.
He looks like he's in his 30s.
Yeah,
Oh.
he does not look that young.
Yeah. Sorry, Pete Davidson.
I don't know if it's like an unpopular opinion, but
Yeah.
I think it's like your opinion.
But isn't that what unpopular opinions are? It's something
Yeah,
that
but I
it's
feel
my
like-
opinion, but
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But also, I've never been like I like the non-conventionally attractive people. Maybe it is a trending thing. Maybe I never stopped to reflect.
yeah, I need you to go back in time and ask Maggie like 5 years ago how she feels about like Timothy Chalamet now, you know? Like if you How old are
I
you?
think that's a good point, because if I were to just see him alone, I don't think I would. But because I saw him in a movie and he was just so charismatic and cool that I was like, whoa, he's hot. Like Jack
So you
Harlow.
think- Okay. So it's the personality that makes them attractive.
I think so too. I want to say our generation's evolving.
So my second unpopular opinion is that I think that non-Black people should not use African American vernacular. So things like
Please elaborate.
or bussin' or just like a lot of what TikTok slang is right now is like I think it's like AAVR.
How do you for like my problem here is like how do you even define what that is? Like where do you draw the line here?
Also, I think like a lot of Toronto man slang is like it's adapted from Jamaican slang. So I know things like bombo clot, that was a huge thing, and I sent it to my Jamaican friend, and then she didn't know what it meant, asked her parents, and they were like, who's teaching you this filth? And I was like, sorry, it was Twitter. And they're like, Maggie told you this word? Well, I was teaching Maggie this word. They're like, how does Maggie know all these swear words? It's a very bad word. You should not say it. And I was explaining to Candace, like, oh, it's a Toronto man's thing. Like, I hear people say it all the time. So I see what you're on about, Wanda. But also, I thought you were just talking about the N-word.
Can you imagine if that was my unpopular opinion?
I'm gonna agree
Unpopular.
here that this is an unpopular opinion. This is definitely unpopular because I don't agree with the opinion.
Can you elaborate why you
Sample
don't
of
agree?
one.
I feel like it's really difficult to like set like who is to say what is acceptable and what isn't. Right? Like it's like where do you even draw the line? Are you gonna make like a dictionary of words you're not allowed to use or can't say them in a certain way? And like I get there's some things that are like clearly problematic, but it's hard to just like ban people from like talking in a certain way because it's less about like the color of their skin. It's like maybe they just grew up in an area, all their friends were black. That's just all how they talk. I don't know. I wouldn't consider that problematic.
Maybe it's the
But,
context because
yeah.
I say bussin' in a very polite way. I think, but also I didn't know it was an African American thing. I thought it was just a Gen Z slang.
But like I think that's kind of the issue because like when you have people on TikTok or like other Gen Zers like adopting what like African American vernacular English is, then it becomes like mainstream, but you don't like then you associate it with Gen Z or like you associate it with TikTok, but you don't associate it with like people who are black. And once again, we're taking credit away from people who are black and also kind of adopting things that they do. So this is kind of like similar to things of like blackwashing and like stealing TikTok dances and like things like that.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In my opinion, like those kind of cultural things are meant to be shared and evolve over time. And mixed with other things, and like more people see them and gets used to it, like new things come up, and I don't see a problem with that as long as it's done in a not harmful and intentionally like insulting way.
I think it's like the fact that you're like mixing, like the fact that you can't draw the line is also like problematic because it's like when you think about it, it's like why like you should like at what point is like adoption just stealing? And it's like everything that people who are black do, you just take and you claim it as your own. And like not giving credit towards them.
I think I agree with you at a certain point here. There's like some people that'll like just do it because it's popular and it's like the thing now, and like they don't really care for kind of not the history or like I would say like the history of people that were originated from. There's like, oh, this is like a new trendy thing, and they don't really like give credit. But I don't think necessarily non-black people should not be allowed to like use.
I think you're right that there is a line.
But like who decides what that line is? Like
I don't even know.
Yeah, it becomes so complicated so fast that it's like you could spend days arguing and like everyone would have a different opinion. So
yeah, I mean, because it's like when you think about it, it's like the N-word back in the day wasn't necessarily seen as like a bad thing until it was.
Yeah,
like,
but it changes over time, right?
Yeah, but like for the last like 50-ish years, I want to say that the N-word has been traditionally considered to be a thing that you don't say.
No bueno.
If you're not black.
Pretty toxic.
Yeah. I think everyone agrees with that.
And it's like, so like we don't know, I guess, how words are going to evolve and like what they're going to mean later. So like the N-word was originally used by black people, and like they were ways to address each other, and they still use it to this day. But as like when they were adopted by like other people, namely white people, it became like bad, and there was like a bad connotation that went along with it. So like we can kind of maybe see something happening with the words that are popular now sometime in the future. So basically, don't record yourself saying any of those words in case you get canceled 50 years from now.
I say bussin' all the time. Oh no.
You've said it like 5 times on this podcast too.
Yeah, I do say that word a lot. This was something I didn't think about. This very opened my eyes. I don't know if I'm gonna smash or pass. Prabby, do you smash or pass?
What am I smashing or passing? Like what?
On
Does that mean I
Wanda's
agree
opinion.
or disagree?
Smash means you agree.
I'm gonna disagree with her opinion.
So you pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass.
I medium because I need to think about this some more. But it's a very interesting opinion.
Yeah, I will say it's like it's hard to either smash or pass. Like this is a very complicated issue, and it's not like one or the other. Like there's a lot of gray area, and everyone's gonna be on like different kind of areas. So
use like smash for it's a good like unpopular opinion versus like pass where it's like, oh, this is a pretty popular opinion.
I would say
Oh.
with certain people, it's a very popular opinion.
Next one. Commute time should be paid for. I thought this was an interesting one. If I'm driving or getting to work, that time should be paid for by the company. It's not my free time and not time where I can be doing anything else but traveling to the work site. I don't necessarily agree with this, only because it's hard to tell. It's not fair for people who live like super close and then they don't get any money. And if you live like super far, you get way more money. Like that's your own fault for living far away. But I think if you have like a parking lot, it should be free. Prabby, I'll pass it to you. What do you think?
So I have some opinions here. I think like if your company, like if you have a job, you're not getting paid for commute, and then the company makes you change where you're working without compensating you for, if it's like, oh, you worked at this office, now suddenly we're going to change to this one, and like they should be compensating you for that. Like they shouldn't be expecting you to move. But like I feel like you know when you're like signing up for a job, like what kind of, like if things change after, you should be able to work it out with your company. But like when you're getting a job for the first time, like, and you live like 2 hours away, you're not gonna be like, oh, you're gonna like pay me to commute here. Like it's kind of weird for them to expect you to do that. I think there's like a lot of like, you could like, everyone gets like X amount of money to like help with commute. It's not like, so one people are getting more, some people are getting less. Like it's up to you how you use it. Maybe like that wouldn't be so bad. But in a general thing, I don't think you should be getting paid for commute time. But there are some situations where I think it would be nice.
Wanda,
yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with the whole like to make it more fair, I guess, kind of like addressing the point that you had, Maggie, where Prabby was saying that if everyone gets compensated for like that amount of time, an equal amount of time, like an hour and everything, like I think that would make it more fair. I like, if I had to choose one side of this though, like I do agree with this opinion. I think commute time should be paid for, because it kind of helps like people from who are like more disadvantaged, I guess, who can't live close to like a big city, also have access to the same careers. So like a part of like one of the issues with like people who have less money and like people who are struggling with poverty is that they don't have the access that people who are more privileged have. So like compensating for this time kind of gives them more opportunities, and it doesn't like penalize them continuously for being not as well off as like their counterparts. It also kind of like helps with like urban sprawl, I guess, like so we don't have like these dense cities like Toronto and New York where like everyone lives there not because they necessarily want to live there, but because they can't move out in fear of like having to commute into work, and like commuting is stressful and all that stuff. So like it makes sense of why they want to live in the city. So we're going to see like, if this is a thing, we're going to see more development in like the suburbs and everything, and people actually probably living better lives because they're happier when they're trying to commute.
Okay, I have opinions here, a lot about what you just said. I like urban development. Suburbs suck. They're horrible, bad for the environment, take up a lot of space. They do. They're really bad, like in terms of like how many people you're fitting in a certain spot. I don't think it should necessarily be on the employer to have to provide like a way for lower privileged people that like can't afford to commute. I think that's on the government and society in general, not investing enough in transit, having things like suburbs where people have to buy a car to commute to work. Like if you live in the suburb, cars are objectively more expensive than like using transit. And if transit is like a shitty option, it just doesn't get you anywhere. Like you're forced to buy a car, have to pay gas, insurance. Like if public transit was in a better space, you wouldn't need to. And it doesn't work with suburbs. Like that's why I think cities are better. You can have people live around where they work, have transit to get them to places, not have to rely on cars and highways and all that horrible, ugly looking infrastructure. Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of what you said.
I think it's like sometimes it's like, yes, I think the government should step in, but then like a lot of the changes that we have seen in the like in history have been driven by driven by workers and driven by corporations.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the problem here, though. Not.
yeah, well, yes, obviously, there's like a bigger systematic issue here, like in play. But like, if we can't solve the issue from like the highest level, the people that are supposed to be there, like we can't just sit around and do nothing.
But
Like,
do you
okay,
think
sorry.
people should live far away from where they work? Like that's
No,
in
I don't
my
think-
mind that doesn't really work.
Okay, so like in the ideal world, everyone can work remote. Like,
No, or
the
like
people
people you would live in like a community where you can live, work, and it's like a nice, healthy environment. Like you don't have like, yeah, working remote is great. You can't do that for a lot of jobs, but then I'm not saying you should have to travel, like commuting, you shouldn't have to travel more than like 30, 45 minutes to find work.
Yeah, but sometimes that's just not sustainable. Like not everyone can like there's not like housing for people who work at a certain corporation.
That's why
like,
urban development is better. Like it's better if everyone's concentrated like in one
But that's
spot.
actually not good because it's like if we constantly have like condo builds and like apartment buildings where we force a lot of people into like
There's
one location.
healthy ways to do that though.
Yes, but the thing is, it's like the healthier way isn't necessarily what the government or what the developers are going to want to do. Because like we don't have that like relationship where the government works actively with like the like urban planners and developers such that we have like these healthier neighborhoods. Like it's just not a thing because that's not what makes money. Going back to like in my opinion, I would smash the commute time being paid for because it should be compensated to an extent, but I think I agree with Prabby's earlier point where it should be like you're like compensated for like 1 hour each way so that everyone is fair.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good roundup.
Yeah, I think definitely travel time for work should be like you should be getting paid for that. Commute time is a difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice. I would like to be paid for commute time, so yeah, I will smash. For selfish reasons.
Drinking is pointless if you're not getting drunk. I'm not sure many might disagree since everyone reacts differently to alcohol and drugs, but I don't see the point in drinking if you're not going to get drunk/tipsy. Alcohol is not good for you, so if I'm going to drink, which I only do 1 or 2 times a month at most, I'm going to at least catch a buzz and make it worth it. If I go out and have 1 or 2 drinks with dinner or something, I still feel sober, but there's a 50% chance I'm going to have a headache the next morning anyways. At that point, might as well get 1 more and feel something out of it.
I feel like you already know the age of the person that wrote this.
It's me. I wrote this. Well, I personally don't agree with this because sometimes I just want a drink to fit in with my friends. It sounds cool. I don't want to get drunk. I got work the next day. Not that I want to fit in, but I'm like, this drink sounds really cool and everyone else is getting a drink. I'm going to do it too. I want to feel a light buzz. I don't get a headache. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I feel like most times I'm drinking, I don't want to get drunk because
it's not fun.
It's not fun. I will definitely pass on this opinion.
I also pass. Wait, Wanda, do you pass? If we all pass, it's not unpopular.
That means it's unpopular. Because we all don't agree with the opinion.
That's good.
I 90% agree with this opinion. There's like the odd 10% of time where I do actually just like, oh, I'm feeling like a sangria or I'm feeling some kind of fruity drink. But I think it's like in a way wasted if I like don't get drunk. It's like I don't drink that often, so that when I do, I would like 90% of the time to be drinking to like a tipsy point or a buzz. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, on a personal level, I agree with that. Like, if I'm going to drink, I might as well drink more. But in a general sense, I disagree with the opinion. But like for me, I would be like, yeah, I'm not gonna get something alcoholic if we go out unless I plan on drinking it at least a decent amount. Otherwise, it's like a waste of money.
Yeah, that's strange because it's like if you agree with it on a personal level but don't agree with it on a general level, like do you agree with it then?
Yeah, I mean, like if everyone's different, like if Maggie has like a drink, like it's a lot different than if like me or you have a drink. Like it's, it affects everyone differently. So
I still don't want to get drunk.
Yeah.
Like I want like a light buzz, if anything. But getting drunk is not fun. No offense.
Debatable.
I mean, yes, debatable. Depends on what social setting.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. No. If I had to get drunk every time I drank, I'd be so sad.
Plus, drinks are delicious, so.
No.
Nice. So overall, smash. Actually, pass.
Pass.
Pass. Nice.
Yep.
Pass.
Cool. Okay, next one. I thought this one was interesting. My family should be allowed to sell my organs if I am dead. After I'm dead. While organ donors are a thing to my knowledge, they don't get reimbursed for the organs which are taken out. They should 100% be able to sell them to the highest bidder. It would help pay for all the things that come with having a dead person.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
This is extremely problematic. We shouldn't, like, it's just going to be a huge black market. Like, it's no. As soon as, like, money's involved with, like, blood, organs, and, like, anything like that, like, it just doesn't end well.
That's why we have the government to regulate
this is
it.
like, it needs to be regulated so hard. You shouldn't be allowed to sell body parts for money. Like, it's not, it just won't be good. So, and first of all, like, is this opinion saying that, like, you made a decision and your family's allowed to change your decision?
I think they're implying that it doesn't matter what your decision is, the family gets to decide.
Okay, that's also very problematic.
That's what it sounds like.
I that's like a separate opinion almost than the original one, where I feel like there's two opinions here. One is just like you should buy to sell organs, and the other one is like you don't get a say in what happens after you die. So I'm gonna pass on both.
Yeah. Same. I would pass on both too.
I mean,
it's like, what stops your family from killing you for sale of your organs? I mean, like, it becomes like a very gray area, I guess. And it's like, even when you're dead, it's still, I guess, your body, even though like your consciousness might not be there anymore. And like, we honor like wills and stuff. So it's like, why would we not honor like body parts? And also you could have like problematic relationships with your family, so like why does it fall onto the family to decide?
Yeah, I don't understand why like a lot of things are like, oh, just ask the family. It's like not everyone has good relationship with their family. Like, why are they the default to, like, you know?
What if also, like, we are in privileged situations, we've never been super hungry before, to the point where our family cannot afford food. So maybe families like, we have 1 million kids, let's kill one of them. The kid agreed to it, or like maybe a parent sacrificed himself. It's like, sell my organs, make some money off this, whatever. That's
okay. People shouldn't have to be put in a situation where they have to sell their body. That's like worse than like slavery. It's like
I mean, it doesn't necessarily. Not that it happens that I know.
I'm sure this happens.
Sure. But
No
I know, like, in some countries, they will, like, sell off their daughter for marriage, like, 5 years old.
Yeah.
So, same.
These are kind of problematic situations that arise. I think, like, by default, everyone should be automatically enrolled to be an organ donor. You should be allowed to opt out. You should be automatically enrolled.
Are you guys
by default.
both organ donors?
Yeah.
I am not.
Here's my opinion, but if you're not registered an organ donor, you should be least prioritized to receive one if you need it.
I agree.
That's only fair. Like, if you're willing to give it away, you should be like higher up in line to receive them.
I agree with that.
But by default, like, everyone should be allowed. Like I think when you sign up for like a driver's license, they ask you, but like it should be by default that you're an organ donor. You should be able to opt out. I'm not saying you shouldn't be forced to do it, but like, it's a lot of people don't really have an opinion or don't even think to go change it. It shouldn't be effort to do it just because there's such a shortage, right? And if you care enough, like, people are gonna like opt out, right? So a lot of countries are like that, but
yeah, a lot of European countries are automatically, like, when you become of age, you are automatically opted into becoming an organ donor. And I think that's better, because someone like me who doesn't want to go through the effort of choosing or signing or doing something that requires you to donate your organ, it's like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be part of that decision. And I think that, like, this might be an unpopular opinion as well, that like you should automatically be opted into organ donation, because it's like your body, your choice kind of thing. Why is the government controlling you in that way? But I think it's like, personally, it's just like that the extra layer of friction there that I have to think about it, that like I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no,
And that's why I'm not an organ donor.
yeah. So like I would say like it's just better for everyone if everyone's like if you care and like you think there shouldn't be a lot of friction to opt out. Like it should be a simple process, like as it is as simple to enroll. Like you just click yes. But yeah.
And I think that's like another thing, because it's like if you weren't an organ donor, like when you were alive, like when you didn't check yes on something, then your family wouldn't even be asked about what to do with your organs.
They shouldn't be.
It would just, but they're like right now they're not anyway. So it's like if they have this like selling your organs thing, then it's like, does that mean if you checked yes, my family can sell my organs, and then then can they sell your organs? Also, it's like, who is purchasing organs then?
People will.
No, but I mean, like, but who
huge-
will exactly? But it's the people who will be the richest.
Yeah, again, that's another problematic thing. It's like
Yeah.
it
There was
just
actually
doesn't work.
there was like another opinion that was like, if I can find an organ on the black market and I have the means to pay for it, I should be able to get that organ.
Yeah, but who's gonna do surgery on you? Good luck finding a doctor. Like sure,
No,
I'm
I'm
sure you
saying, like,
can.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, if you can find it, do you think that doctors should be like okay
Forced?
with it? Like, do you
Yeah.
think
I don't think a doctor should be forced to do that surgery on you.
Imagine being a doctor.
Then
like,
it's
where
like,
the fuck
yeah,
did you get this organ?
no, like sane doctor is gonna be like, yeah, you got shit off the black market. Like you're gonna get a shady doctor then. Like if you want to go that route, you can do it. I'm sure it exists.
Hey doc, I found
Like,
this
no one's
lung.
stopping
Can
you.
you just like put it in me real quick?
Like I doubt like the government's gonna come after you if you go to like a shady country and like buy shit off the black market and do it.
but like what if it was like mainstream? Like what if like if there was like you know how there's like privatized healthcare and there's like public healthcare? What if there's like privatized organs? Like there was companies that literally, or like there were black market organ sellers, and if you got an organ, like your doctors, no questions asked, would be able to put that organ into you. Like, do you think that's something
in an ideal world, it might work, but like it just won't work in the way the world currently works. It just doesn't. So yeah, I would say then they should be able to. Like if there's an organ out there, like yeah, I can buy it, and if there's a doctor willing to operate, like why should they be stopped? They're not harming anyone.
But like, aren't they?
No, but like that's what I mean. Like if they're not actually harming anyone, like if like someone like died in a car accident and their family sold it, and like in a world where that was like okay and it worked and it wasn't like illegal and like crime and all that, like sure, why not?
You know how like there was like a whole momentum of like fair trade coffee and like
Fair
things,
trade
like,
organs.
fair trade organs, like this organ
Yuck.
was harvested with sustainable means.
Yuck.
Yeah. I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that.
Cool. So overall, we pass on this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, last one.
So last one is another one that I put in, and it's starting to work at an early age is sad and not something to be proud of. So the poster says, I used to think of starting your career young as an honor, and I still see some people around behaving that way. But there is no pride in adding additional years of corporate slavery to your life. If you are a teen, you should just enjoy that life while it lasts. And we here are both slaves of our parents, Maggie and I. So I thought this one was a fitting unpopular opinion to include.
Can I get a number? Age?
I started work at like 10. Like,
What is considered early age? Because this person says teens, which is very different than 10.
I think the age you can start working is 16.
And I think also family work is different than work.
Yeah, because
So
they
we
don't pay
should-
you.
Yeah, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point you would basically just like have like around the house to a certain extent.
I was forced into a job. So.
Me too, but I don't know if it's like my duty to help to the family, but I'm also like, yeah, I think like working young like helped my social skills, and I think it helped a lot of my soft skills, so I think that's great, but it's not something that like I want my kids to do in the future.
Mm-hmm. I'm of the opinion, you know how we have like volunteer hours in school? To graduate, you have to meet like 40 hours. I feel like there should be something similar for retail.
You want kids to work for free in retail?
Not for free. You should be like, I don't think people should be going to college and university without any work experience.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's a good point.
yeah, like you shouldn't need to work. Kids shouldn't need to work to like feed themselves and like buy stuff. But I think work experience, they should be getting paid for it. I'm not saying they should do it for free, but like they should know what it feels like to work for money and then have money to spend and budget or whatever and do whatever they want with. There's a lot of skills there that they need to start building early, because there's like people that like go through high school, no work experience, go through all university, no work experience, and then they're like 22 and it's like it's kind of late to be starting work in general. So I think everyone should at least start working part-time, even in the summers, like when they're 16.
Yeah. I mean, there's like the whole like privilege aspect of it is like if you don't have to work as like early on, it's because your family can pay for a lot of things that you want and a lot of things that you need. But if your family is not as well off, then you might have to work to be able to support the family, and that sucks. But like, let's just say, like, if we take the example of like a middle class family, like I think that, yeah, I do think that you should start working at 16 if you want money to spend for things that you like. So like buying video games or going out to eat with your friends and like shopping, like things like that, I think you should pay for by yourself. And like, I mean, I was always that kid that always wanted money. Like I always wanted to make money as a kid, and I feel like that's something like I don't know if it was like drilled into me by my parents, but like I did a newspaper route, like I started working at 13, not even like my family didn't even own the restaurant then. So it also, yeah, like what Maggie said with like developing social skills and stuff, like I don't think I would be the same person I would be now if I didn't have that experience working in like customer service. And I think it's like extremely important for every single person to work in customer service.
Yeah.
Like at least like once in their lives, because it's
Mhm.
like you don't know until like you're on the other side of the
Yeah.
And you see how shitty people are.
Yeah, that's why I specified like retail, like kids should have to have that experience.
Mhm.
Not like forced. Maybe it's like, I don't know.
But no, I
It
think
probably isn't for everyone.
regardless of your privilege status, I think you're right. You should work like a
Yeah.
customer-facing job for a little bit, only to prevent a generation of Karens and like like yelling people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
like it'd be nice if we could do it naturally, like we didn't have to like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish it wasn't forced upon, but everyone should do it. I wouldn't like I feel like after a certain age, probably somewhere in the teens, I would stop paying for kids recreational like toys and like these kind of things, because like extra like nice things, because like they should, if they want that, they have to know what it's like to go out and work for it and pay for it themselves, or they become
Yeah.
too spoiled and privileged.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So-
So I don't think starting work at an early age is sad. I don't know if it's something to be proud of. I think it is like a necessity, or maybe
Yeah.
that's just capitalism telling us that it's a necessity.
I
Who
think
knows?
context matters here in the
Mm.
situation. Kids shouldn't
Yeah.
have to be forced to work, but if they're in a situation where like they need to, then it's kind of sad. Like they have to do it to support themselves.
Yeah.
That is
But I
sad.
don't think like people should wear it as like a badge of honor like either.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, like hustle culture. Like I think we
Ugh,
should abolish
yeah.
that
Yeah.
altogether. Like saying like, oh, I started work when I was 10 years old. Like that's how long I've been hustling. Like that's no. Like I think that's maybe what they're trying to get at, and I think that is something that you definitely should not do, because we're trying to get rid of that. And so I guess in that sense, like smash.
I would say
Like, it's popular.
based on what this user has posted, I would say in this context, I would pass on this opinion. I don't
Mhm.
agree with it. But there's definitely, if they had phrased it in a different way, I might have agreed with the opinion.
I agree with you, Prabby. Pass on what they said. Smash on the things we discussed.
So much better at
Nice. Okay, cool.
Any final thoughts?
I guess they weren't as unpopular as I thought they were. I mean, I guess they were, but like we unanimously agreed to pass on a lot of them. We were like, that's weird.
I mean, pass means yes, right? Like pass means
Pass.
this means unpopular, right?
Yeah, it's unpopular. We
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah. So pass means
Yeah.
like they did a good job. And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of like very popular opinions on Unpopular Opinion, but I've seen like some really good unpopular ones that are like not like something extreme. Like it's such a very niche, small thing, but it's very unpopular and everyone freaks out. But it's like such a dumb, and those are the best. Like that's what this subreddit should be, but unfortunately, it's not.
So it was like, I think the one that comes to mind when I think of like an actual true unpopular opinion was someone who was like, I like walking around with like wet socks.
Yeah, that is unpopular. Yeah.
So gross.
Like it's like the one that causes like a reaction that you're like, oh my God, I need to immediately like downvote this because this is so terrible and like why would you like this?
Wait,
but like
why
that's
would you
the point
downvote?
of
Can you upvote it because it's so unpopular?
That's the problem with the subreddit is people downvote that when they should be upvoting it because it's unpopular.
Yeah.
But it's like the initial reaction is like hard to like overcome. And that's like, but that's what you want from the subreddit. So then you get like a lot of things that are kind of like pretty popular, but like when someone says it, that like it gets popular and like onto the front page and everything.
Yeah, it makes me really want to find the person who said that and be like, are you okay? We need to sit down and talk about this. Have you ever felt dry socks out of the dryer?
Yeah. Those are the type that's like, what is wrong with you?
What
like,
happened in your
life? Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Big thanks to Prabby for joining us today and causing some real controversy and counter arguments, I guess.
Fits this theme of unpopular opinions. So
yeah, I really think so. I think like if me and Maggie, there would have been a lot of stuff that we agreed upon. So it was nice to have like an additional resource to give us a different perspective.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Prabby. Thanks for being last minute guest.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in and go like us on social media, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and go watch us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, and join us again next Thursday for another episode of Apologetically Me. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.